Mishko Pagnan Quena Dishnakas Mangdodem. Hi everybody, my name is Sandy Boucher. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Northern Ontario, and I'm here today with the August 28th episode of Surviving Isolation, which makes this episode 24. We're coming near the end of August, so I am going to have some updates for you. But first, as always, I want to do my welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to like it if you do, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're watching this on Shaw's Spotlight, thank you for welcoming me back into your home once again. Now, we did our welcome. It's statistics time. We all know March 11th was the day that the World Health Organization officially declared the pandemic. As of August 28th, that was 170 days ago. My self-isolation started on March 14th, and even though I thought I was doing a live event this week, that didn't come to pass, and that's okay. Got to keep people safe. We got to allow space for life to happen. So my isolation continues. I have yet to do that public event, and that means I'm on day 167. Now, if you remember way back, what was the date on this? I have my documents with me here. It was March 22nd when I made a commitment that was right at the beginning of this pandemic. I don't think any of us knew how this was going to turn out, but I knew I didn't want to come out of this worse. I didn't want to come out of this having dug myself a hole that I was then going to have to climb out of. And I wanted to make sure of that. So I made a commitment to myself. I wrote this declaration and I signed it. And I said, I'm coming out of this wiser, stronger, healthier, and happier. This I promise. How am I doing? Wiser? Definitely, 110%. I know myself better. The networks I've joined, I'm wiser as far as managing my business, sustainability, 110%. Am I stronger? Well, physically, maybe not. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, absolutely, 110%. And I'm working on the physically, so just give me some time here. Give me some time. Healthier? Debatable. Happier? Debatable on certain days. Some days are amazing. I definitely love the resilience, the fact that I'm doing amazing, way better than I thought I was going to do in the beginning. But I'm working on that, and that's okay. Now, I also set another goal, and you guys know this if you watched past episode. June 1st, was it June 1st or July 1st? I believe it was June 1st. I committed to, first it was 10,000 steps, and then it was 10 kilometers a day, that I was going to walk around my then condo and do 10 kilometers a day. And I've given you the updates on that every single month. Well, and I give you updates on my measurements. Was there any change? Was there any change in my weight? I can tell you right now, my weight has not gone back up. It hasn't come down, but it hasn't gone back up. And that's because I haven't, truth be told here, total honesty and transparency, I haven't been doing my 10,000 steps a day, and that's because I moved, and I was hauling boxes, and finding boxes, and finding crap, and wondering where to put it, and all of that insanity. So what I did, truth be told, my steps are actually tracked on my phone. I carry my phone when I'm walking, and it tells me how many steps. When I was moving and unpacking boxes, I'm not going to carry my phone because I've already lost one of those phones. They're kind of expensive to replace. I'm not risking that again. So What I did, because I knew I was active, I knew I didn't have a second to be sitting down, so I definitely was not being inactive. I spotted myself 5K a day. I thought, you know what, I might be doing more, I might be doing a little less, but I think 5 kilometers is reasonable. But that's not my 10. So as of today, what I should have achieved, if I was doing my 10 kilometers a day, I should have achieved 890 kilometers by now. And that sounds insane, but I've hit the 500 kilometer mark, the 250 kilometer mark, so it was awesome. I should have achieved 890. I have completed 746 kilometers since June 1st. I don't know about you, so I'm right under the 750 mark, and now that I know that, you can bet I'm hitting 750 before this day is over. But I'm not going to beat myself up about that. I don't want to live in a world, or I don't want to create a world for me where doing 746 kilometers is a negative. I'm thinking that's still pretty flippin' amazing. And I'm giving myself the time. I finally got my office back together. I got my home settled, so I actually have a place to relax at the end of the day. And now I can focus on getting back to doing my steps, which brings me to today's topic. So I don't know if you know this, but every single day I do a blog post. And this I actually wrote on June 2nd and never released it. I had written something else that day. Excuse me, I'm going to start yawning again. I don't think so. I should stop shooting these videos right around lunchtime. Maybe that's the problem. But I wrote this blog post and I never released it. I'm releasing it for the first time here today because I wanted to share it with you. I think it's totally on point. We're talking about surviving isolation here. So listen to this. The question came to me as I was dancing around my kitchen yesterday. That is not a metaphor for anything. I was literally dancing around my kitchen, or more accurately, around my kitchen island. It's how I get my steps in every day. I dance. I've always loved to dance, so why not? It makes getting in the steps, which can be horribly boring, absolutely fun. And that's what started this thought train. I now dance from between 1 to 2 hours a day. As I danced, I thought of all those socials and shags that used to happen. I giggled as I thought how I pity my date at the first social after this pandemic ends, because I'm gonna dance his tush off. And then it hit me. What if that doesn't happen? What if socials are now something we tell our grandkids about, something that used to happen in a bygone era? What if there's no more dancing in clubs and bars? Are you going to quit dancing if you never get to dance in public again? You have my answer. I'd be willing to bet you can figure out my answer. It's a resounding no. I don't go for the crowds or the loud music. Thanks to my earbuds, I can totally rock out and not even upset the neighbor. So no, I won't be giving up dancing. But what about you? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to adapt so it fits this new world? Your exercise, your routine, your way of staying in touch with friends, the way you work. History has shown us that those that adapt survive. We already know many businesses will not survive this crisis, but I think we should support the ones that are adapting to ensure our safety, adapting to suit our new needs, those who have decided what they are willing to give up to survive and what they're willing to adapt. The only question is, have you? So that's the blog post, and that's my exercise routine made me think of that, because I did adapt. I didn't feel comfy going out especially in the early days. I didn't know, even though social distancing, I didn't want to run into a crowd on the sidewalk. And I know that might sound absolutely paranoid, but it didn't seem paranoid to me. So I started walking in my home, and it didn't matter how I looked. I didn't need to worry about what outfit I was wearing or how my makeup looked or what my hair looked like. Trust me, if I'm ever going to run into clients that were at a seminar of mine, it's when I'm out looking like total crap. And I think every single one of us women can totally relate to that comment. So you have to decide, what are you willing to give up? What, and not dependent on someone else. What do you want in your life, and what are you going to hang on to? What are you going to give up, and what are you going to adapt? But this brings me to the second point of today, and I'm going to show an image to help you understand this. I use this in seminar all the time. It's called the wall metaphor. And any single time you're trying to convince someone of something, or trying to educate them on something, or you're disagreeing on something, the wall metaphor applies. So if you look at this metaphor and just imagine that this wall, it's called the wall metaphor, divides the two sides of whatever issue, the two sides of maybe the debate about this pandemic. How extreme do our measures have to be? Do we always have to wear a mask? Do we have to wear it indoors? All of that debate. There are people dancing on the wall, and I like to picture myself dancing on the wall, that are comfortable having these conversations and stay on top of issues and stay on top of the latest news and are more than willing to inform others and share the information. That's my job. I'm dancing on the wall. And you notice how this metaphor tied into my dancing for exercise? I'm so on point today. Love it. Anyways, we're dancing on the wall. I know so many people who want to understand, who want to learn more. Maybe they don't know the resources to go to. Maybe they don't have access to the same level of information. Maybe they don't have the internet access to go cruising around the internet researching this stuff. Maybe they don't know what websites are reliable and some a little iffy. Those are the people in this image touching the wall or trying to get up on the wall. They're the people that are learning. And honestly, I think we all need to keep learning, whether we're dancing on the wall or no matter what the issue is, we need to keep learning. What is really important about this image is on both sides of any debate, there are people so far away from the wall, they don't even want to talk about it. They're not open to discussing it. They're not open to new knowledge. They're far away from the wall. As my elders often remind me, if we spend all our time and take all of our energy and try to focus on the people that are so far away from the wall that they're not even willing to hear us, all we're going to do is exhaust ourselves. But if we focus on those people that are open to learning and open to hearing, we can truly make a difference, and we can celebrate when they climb up on the wall with us. So I don't know what topic you're debating. I don't know the arguments or discussions you're having, and maybe it is about the pandemic. And I'm not talking about sitting in judgment of people. If there's one thing in my anti-racism and cross-cultural work, if there's one thing I've gotten really comfy with, it's accepting that whatever someone says is only a reflection of what they've been taught. And even if it's something horrific in the case of racism, I used to get really upset with those people, really angry. And guess what? The only person I was hurting was me, and my blood pressure was going through the roof. I don't get angry anymore. I don't want to spend my life angry. Now my heart goes out to that child that this adult used to be. When someone's standing in front of me saying something absolutely ludicrous or absolutely racist, the only thing that goes through my mind is, I wish you had never been taught that. about Indigenous people, about Black people, about newcomers, whatever the case may be, about women, about gay or trans people, whatever it is. We spit out what we've been taught. We need to remember that that message can change, especially if we're wise enough to keep adding to our knowledge base, to keep building our wisdom. Don't waste your time with people that aren't open to her hearing, the ones that have decided they've learned enough. I can remember when my son was 16. I don't know if any of you have ever had a teenager in the house. Maybe you are a teenager. Hi, how are you doing? If you're a teenager, awesome, great time of life. Every now and then, a teenager starts feeling like they know everything. And I got an argument with my son, probably the 5 millionth argument at that time. And at one point in the middle of the argument, I just stopped arguing. And I just looked at him and I said, you know what? This is so sad. And it caught him off guard. And he looked at me and he said, well, what's sad? What are you talking about? And I said, it's incredibly sad to think that you could become a 30-year-old man and you'd only have a 16-year-old's knowledge because you've decided you know everything and you don't want to learn from me anymore. I know how much wisdom you've accumulated in your 16 years, but I've accumulated more in my time here, and I want to share that with you. You don't have to do what I tell you to do, but be open. Always be open to adding to your wisdom. I'm happy to report that my amazing son turns 33 this year, and he most definitely is carrying way more than 16 years of wisdom. So how much wisdom are you carrying? I'm being nosy here. Forget about telling me how old you are. How many years of experience and wisdom do you have? It's a whole different way of looking at it. I'm lucky. I'm an Anishinaabe. We do not condemn people for getting older. We want the wisdom of the elders. We want the wisdom of a long life lived. And that's why it's important to stay healthy, to stay happy, to add to your wisdom, because you're going to become such an amazing asset. You already are, to the people that love you, to the people that look up to you, to the people that think you're an amazing example of who they want to be. And I'd be willing to bet somebody does, even if you don't know who they are. Just make sure. My mom used to always say, we're always an example. With every word, every thought, every deed, we're an example. We get to decide what. And I can honestly say on some days, I'm an example of a professional, successful woman. Some days I'm an example of a wise woman. And there's a few days I've been an example of a total idiot. And I'm going to own that. But I can choose. And I can honestly say that most days I'm an example of somebody you might want to emulate and not the path you shouldn't go on. What kind of example are you? So many questions for you today. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to adapt? Where are you in this wall metaphor? Are you dancing on the wall? Are you trying to get information? Or are you not willing to listen at all? And if you're not willing to listen, what level did you decide your wisdom was going to stop at? 16, 28, 38, 48, 68? When did you decide to stop learning? My mom would be the first to say, if you're still here, that means there's things you should be learning. And there's things for you to share to help other people with their learning. We're still here for a reason. And every single morning I get up and have the joy and the opportunity to try to figure out, why am I still here? Who needs my help today? Who can I inspire? Who can I guide? Who can I encourage? Because Creator gave me this gift, the gift of this day. Who can I share it with? That's surviving isolation. What episode were we on? Episode 24. Holy flippin' molies. That's like 6 months. March, April, May, June, July, August. When did that happen? It happened. And I hope you're coming out of this wiser, stronger, healthier, and happier. Make the commitment with me today. Grab a piece of paper, write it down. I am coming out of this. Put your list, sign it and date it, and then tuck it away somewhere so you can look at it a month from now, 2 months from now. Don't beat yourself up if you started to move away from the goals. Just do a reset and come back. That's what I'm doing with my steps. I'm not beating myself up. I'm just getting back on track. That's what the world's trying to do right now. Kind of makes sense that we do it personally too. I hope that made sense to you. Until next time, take care of yourself. The next time I talk to you, it's going to be flippin' September. I can't believe it. Take care of you. Be well. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.